Thank you. Should I repeat? 0855JJ, J as in Jack, 7451J again, JZ, BMW, silver BMW. Please remove your vehicles. Thank you very much. Wasn't that amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gloria Henry, and while we await Dr. the Most Honorable Prime Minister, I have been given the permission to start the program. So at this time, I'm going to ask you to stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated. Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, the Honorable Omer Davis, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Janice Allen, representing the Leader of the Opposition, President of the Global Services Association of Jamaica, Mr. Wayne Sinclair, and all members of the Board of the Global Services Association, heads of agencies of the Government of Jamaica, including Mrs. Shulette Cox, President of JAMPRO, and Mrs. Kelly Dawn Hamilton, Managing Director of the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, Mr. Jason Russell, President of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce. Could you stand, Jason, so everyone can see you since we're in your city? Members of the private sector, representatives of sponsors, and we have a lot of sponsors, so at some point during the program we will officially acknowledge them. Pastor Jermaine Johnson, the Dynamo. Delegates from the United States, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Canada, Trinidad and Tobago. Members of the Global Services Association of Jamaica, and there are many, 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 many. Members of the business community of Montego Bay, members of the media, good morning. This is my official good morning to you. And I use this opportunity to formally welcome you and to formally now request prayer. Did he pray when he started? No. Okay, so at this point I will ask Pastor Jermaine Johnson to pray.
May I invite you to stand as we pray? Sovereign God of heaven, we thank you very much for this grand opportunity to come here today to drive excellence. Thank you, Lord, for this conception and for keeping us alive and bringing us safely to be a part of today's experience. And I pray as we go forward, you will take charge of the event and grant us your favor, that all things may go well and not just meet, but surpass expectations. So take charge of each presenter, panelist, and participant. And at the end of this conference, may we leave here better positioned to drive excellence, that when we return in future to report, we can accredit our success to the collaboration and the presentations done here today. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you very much, Pastor Johnson. So when I joined the association, or this sector, 21 years ago, I was 21 pounds lighter. So I've gained a pound for each year, but don't applaud me for that, please, because I'm trying to get rid of it, actually. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here today, because when I joined the sector, there were just about 4,000 employees in the sector. And we were only in Kingston and Montego Bay, mostly in Montego Bay, actually. Today, I am pleased to say that we're all across Jamaica. We were in a few thousand square feet. We're in 3 million square feet of space today. We have about 60,000 employees. And there are many champions in the room today who were involved in the early days, pushing for the growth, the dynamism, and the development of this sector. And some of them are in this room today, like Lynn Langford over there, who is a stalwart, and Yanni Epstein right here, and Angelita White, who is somewhere around here, and Conrad Robinson right there. We fought many battles in the early days, and we're happy today to be here for the 5th staging of Outsource2Jamaica. We are honored that the Prime Minister is going to be our keynote speaker today, and that underscores the level of support that we have from the government of Jamaica. We undoubtedly is the most dynamic, right, Yanni, of sectors in Jamaica. Senator, the Honorable Albin Hill, is our portfolio minister, and he's constantly in conversation with us. And today, he's going to talk to us about transitioning to a digital global services. We have the highest level of support, ladies and gentlemen, in our country. And I'm speaking to our delegates who are visiting us today. Peter Ryan, who is here, who has been part of this industry for many years. We can give you your Jamaican passport now, Peter, right? So I want to thank you, Peter, for supporting us and for bringing these persons here. I want to thank our many partners, and there are many of them, our primary partners, the Inter-American Development Bank, the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, JAMPRO, the Port Authority of Jamaica, where I work, the Development Bank of Jamaica, and our technology partner, Digicel. And Digicel is doing a lot more than just supporting today. They are going to talk about cybersecurity later on, and they're also powering up our outside broadcast. But I don't want to keep talking, because somebody is going to talk more than me, and I now invite the person who should speak more than me, but less time than me, the President of the Global Services Association of Jamaica, Mr. Wayne Sinclair.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Round of applause for Gloria Henry. One more, right? Excellent. She's a stalwart in the industry as well. Senator, the Honorable Albin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. Honorable Homer Davis, Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister. Senator Janice Allen, representing the opposition leader. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Sansa. I'm not sure if Sansa Bennett Templar is here. Heads of agencies of the Government of Jamaica, including Ms. Shalette Cox, President of JAMPRO, and of course, Kelly Dawn Hamilton, Managing Director of the Jamaica Special Economic Zone. Mr. Jason Russell. Jason, I'm not going to ask you to stand up this time. You can remain seated. President of the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce. Representatives of our sponsors and exhibitors, Pastor Jeremy Johnson. Pastor Johnson, you're a tough act to follow, and that has fallen to me, but I will try my best. Delegates from the United States, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Canada, Trinidad and Tobago. Spoke to Peter Ryan there, thank you for that, bringing that up. Members of the Board of Directors of the Global Services Association of Jamaica, members of the Montego Bay business community, members of the media, good morning. And welcome to Outsource to Jamaica, O2J 2025. The Global Services Association of Jamaica is honored and privileged to be hosting all of you at this event. This, of course, is our flagship biennial conference, and this is under the theme of driving excellence, talent, technology, transformation. Talent, technology, transformation. Just a little over a week ago, who would have known how topical and current that theme would be? Last week, Tuesday, we all thought we had an understanding of the basic principles of international trade dynamics. Then the world was turned on its head. Then just yesterday, it appears as though the world was put squarely back on its feet. Or was it? I think the safest answer to that question ultimately is who knows, given the environment that we're in. The global services sector, or what most of us know as the BPO, is also facing similar forces of disruption and uncertainty. We, however, do not have the luxury of just answering who knows. The industry is at a crucial stage in its development and evolution, and we must take bold and decisive steps to ensure its continued longevity and prosperity. A key excerpt from the Deloitte 2024 Global Outsourcing Survey, and this is something that Deloitte does on an annual basis, very, very key report that we should all read, found that the digital workforce consisting of AI-enabled workers and automation bots is emerging as a distinct talent model. Of surveyed executives, 83% are seeking service providers that leverage AI as part of their outsourced services and or can demonstrate seamless integration with legacy AI systems, or what they call AI outsourcing. And 20% are already developing strategies to manage these digital workers. And of course, competition from different geographies around the world is also steadily ramping up. The GSAJ has taken note of these disruptive and transformative developments in the industry. As a result, we recognize that it is imperative for the sector to provide services that move higher up the value chain while maintaining the quality of the more traditional services that forms the foundation of the excellent reputation that we hold in the global marketplace and that has built up over the many years that Gloria just spoke of that we have been in Jamaica. Specifically, through the responsive and innovative initiative from the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, thank you, Minister Hill, a working group comprised of the GSAJ, JAMPRO, Special Economic Zone. We meet on a weekly basis to advance the strategies that are required for the sector's continued growth and development. The working group has developed an action plan centered around three key areas, or three key pillars: marketing and promotion, workforce and skills development, and just deeper public-private sector engagement. Now, this action plan has some 35 different solution sets, all of which I won't get into now, because I think Gloria would probably have my head, but I'll just name a few. So from a marketing standpoint, we seek to redefine Jamaica's value proposition to be more in step with these global market trends. To this end, inbound events, such as the one we have here, and thanks again to the government for the sponsorship of this event as one of our key sponsors, and other sector linkages will continue throughout the year. We've also identified specific outbound missions like Call Center Week or Customer Contact Week, which is scheduled for June in Las Vegas. Now, this is one of the largest conventions in our sector with over 8,000 annual attendees and over 1,000 companies participating. Through the working group, tremendous efforts on the part of the working group, the GSAJ members can access a 20% discount on the cost of event passes. Now, if you're in this business, or if you seek to get into this business, this is the kind of event that you really need to be at in order to advance your cause. So, to the members of the GSAJ, this is a call to action. This is a tremendous opportunity for us to take advantage of. From the standpoint of workforce and skills development, the restart of the Global Services Skills Council will see companies in the sector working closely with the relevant public sector agencies to establish sector-specific skills development programs to address these emerging trends. This follows on a very successful program that was implemented earlier between 2019 and 2024. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to wrap this up. In conclusion, the global services sector, including Jamaica's contributions, is on a trajectory to make remarkable growth and transformation. So as we navigate this evolving landscape, it's crucial we embrace technological advancements, foster innovation, and focus on value creation to ensure sustained success and competitiveness. With an impressive lineup of international buyers, change makers, and thought leaders, we're confident that this conference will provide valuable insights and foster meaningful discussions that will shape the future of the global services sector. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you all for being here, and please take advantage of and enjoy this Outsource to Jamaica 2025.
Okay, thank you very much, Wayne. Wayne has official duties to perform outside. So since I'm the unofficial timekeeper rather, I had to put some cuts to that. So thank you so much. But it gives me an opportunity while he's doing that to acknowledge the many persons that have made this happen for us today. As I said, this is the 5th staging of Outsource to Jamaica. And to tell you a little bit about why we are doing this. So many years ago, I went to Outsource to LAC, Latin America and the Caribbean. And there was no C in that Outsource. It was all Latin America. So I came back to Jamaica and I said, no, we can't have that. And we started our own conference in 2018. And here we are today. We are still having Outsource to Jamaica. And I want to thank our guests from overseas who are all here with us. Let me officially welcome them. Bradley Miller. Bradley James Miller, is he in the room? Oh, there he is over there. Sean David Duncombe. There he is. Jason Bruce Shirley, right here. Veronica Esther Richards, over there. Thank you very much. Philip John Kitchen. Philip is coming to us from the UK. Andrew David O'Brien, there you go. Juan Carlos Kerr Contreras. Carlos Edmond Newton. No, Carlos is not in the room at this time. And our superstar, Mr. Peter Ryan. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Most Honorable, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Thank you. So, as I was saying earlier, before the Prime Minister came, and I have to repeat it for you all, especially for the people on this side. So we have the strongest and the highest level of support from our government of Jamaica. We opened our mouth and said we needed skills development, and at the drop of a hat, government responded, gave us the Global Services Skills Council and the Global Services Skills Project, and that was our rescuer during COVID. The drop of a hat again, we were in COVID, and we needed to respond, and we needed to keep the sector going, and the government responded and gave us and allowed us to be nominated as essential services. But not only that, we were also incorporated into the disaster risk management framework, which is a policy that the government uses as a response mechanism during disasters. So thank you very much, Prime Minister. I always give this joke, about how deep this support is, because I was one of those who was working behind the scenes with Yanni and many others during COVID. And one night I was completely exhausted and my phone rang and I answered it and I said, "This is Gloria Henry. I don't want to hear from nobody else for the rest of the night." And the person on the line said, "Gloria Henry, this is Andrew Holness." And I was like, "Oh my God," I jumped up out my seat. And there was the Prime Minister offering his support during COVID. So I just want to say thanks to the government for the level of support that we are getting. Quickly, before the minister comes, I just want to thank all our sponsors: Appliance Traders Limited, Avalon Limited, Barnett Limited, BCMG Insurance, C4 Global, Caribbean Solar, Development Bank of Jamaica, Digicel, our technology partner, Hartrust NSDA, the Gleaner Company, the Inter-American Development Bank, ITEL International Trade Center, that's the UK International Trade Center, JAMPRO, of course, Jamaica Public Service, Montego Bay Free Zone, where I'm from, Montego Bay Convention Center, National Credit Adjusters, Life Call Ambulance, Optimum Altis, the Port Authority of Jamaica, where I'm also from, Power 106, Ryan Strategic Advisory, Teleperformance, Univacation, Sandals, Sea Gardens Resort, Sutherland Global Services, and Ultimate Transportation, who is ultimate indeed, transporting and moving all our buyers. Ladies and gentlemen, the next person to come on stage here has been a mover and driver of support. From he was part of the Economic Growth Council until now he is Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce. He is going to tell us today how we're transitioning to a digital global services. And at this time, I am pleased to invite Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, to speak with you. Minister?
Ms. G.
Thank you.
Good morning, my dear. Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Dr. Holness, of course, is Prime Minister of Jamaica. He just arrived. But we have to say thanks to Gloria. Gloria has been doing this so well. Gloria is the mother. Really, if there's a mother, it's Gloria who is the mother of the Global Services Association, the Global Services business in Jamaica. She researched it, looked for it, and it's good that she's here guiding it today. Pastor Jermaine Johnson, clearly, solidly rooted in the Judeo-Christian belief as a Christian. His locus is very clear. His ethos is clearly driven by excellence, and his pathos is unmissable, if you'll allow me to carve that word. So it was a very good thing to have Pastor Johnson starting us off this morning. We're happy to see Minister Homer Davis, who is a minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Senator Janice Allen, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Wayne Sinclair, President of the Global Services Association of Jamaica, and other board members of the GSAJ, heads of agencies. I see Shalette Cox, who is the head of JAMPRO, and always involved. She was here yesterday with another big part of our development and growth, which had to do with agriculture, interestingly enough. You'll hear more about that, I'm sure, in due course. And Kelly Dawn Hamilton, who is the CEO of the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, under which the JSAJ businesses fall. Leaders, representatives, and members of the Jamaican private sector, local and international investors, representatives from other countries, Gloria named them out, sponsors and exhibitors without which we couldn't be here, and we're glad that you're successful and do pay taxes, which we have not raised in 10 years, and media practitioners, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me share some facts with you. I'm going to get through this fast. The Prime Minister is here. We're not going to keep him long. The global logistics industry was worth $8.4 trillion in 2021. In 2027, it is expected to exceed 13.7 trillion American dollars. Jamaica ranks among the top 5 exporters to the U.S. East Coast. You need to know that. We operate with a robust ICT infrastructure built to scale, built for speed, and always being improved. We are home to the 7th largest natural harbor on the planet. Kingston Harbor is the 8th busiest container port in Latin America and the Caribbean. We have scores of flights coming into Montego Bay every day and some in Kingston, so we're well connected. And Jamaica's logistic and outsourcing sector can attract over $500 million in investment in the next couple of years. It's powered by our new and more than ever very strategic location as a world-class transshipment point. More than ever today, not last month, but today, we're more than ever a very strategic location. We have a stable currency. Usually, it used to be up and down. No longer. We free floating currency. No restrictions. You don't need to know the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, me, or even your bank manager to make transfers in and out of Jamaica. Clean money in, clean money out, and if the money is not clean, we have good friends who will tell us. We have a strong judiciary, right up to the Privy Council, that I know investors find that to be a very reassuring feature that we have in Jamaica. We're anchored by a stable macroeconomic environment, low inflation, low unemployment, and record-breaking net international reserve. For the past 3 months, I was saying it was 5.5 billion US dollars. Yesterday, I got the new figures from the Bank of Jamaica. It's now 5.85 billion Jamaican dollars. That money underscores and provides the foundation for the strong, stable currency that we have and for keeping inflation under check. Inflation, the government says to the Bank of Jamaica, which we made independent in 2018 or thereabouts, we say you have one mandate. The Federal Reserve has two. Federal Reserve must look after inflation and look after unemployment. We say no. Government policy, good governance, good policy, good fiscal arrangements by the government will take care of unemployment. And boy, have we done that. 3.5% unemployment, the lowest in the history of this country. So we say to the Bank of Jamaica, you have one mandate, and it is to manage inflation. So the range we gave them is 4 to 6%. Inflation is at 4.4%, near the bottom of the range. We run a good country. The Andrew Holness administration knows how to run an economy. We've changed it in 9 years or less. We offer skilled English-speaking workforce with competitive labor rates. Jamaica is a very attractive investment destination, my friends. Let me tell you that. And we can stand up with anybody else around. In fact, I challenge you to find a non-oil producing emerging market country that has gone through the pandemic and through exogenous shocks like hurricanes and storms and have been able to produce 10 consecutive budgets without raising any new taxes. Go look for it. You will have to look for hard. But not only that, not only did we not raise taxes in those 10 budgets, we cut taxes 2 or 3 times. And at the same time, reduce our debt to GDP from a basket case situation to a poster child situation, from 147% to 68.7% in that 9-year period of time. Let me tell you something. Jamaica is the place you must be to invest and carry on your business. Now, look at what has happened to us. We don't make those rules, but boy, the whole world is different, and look at where we are. We used to talk about, yes, we're close to the biggest market in the world, but isn't that important these days? Even more important than you could ever think, because those who are in the same tariff brackets like we are might be producing in Asia or Africa. Look at the competitive advantage we have from the transportation costs that we will bear because we're so proximal to the United States, that biggest market. So, outsource to Jamaica. I'm pleased to be here as the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce to welcome you to Outsource to Jamaica 2025 conference under the theme Driving Excellence. And I'm saying to you how wonderful it is to see you all here, coming from where all the places you've come from. The Andrew Holness administration is building a comprehensive service-driven economy, and you're a big part of that service-driven economy. I am so pleased. I was working then in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, the Prime Minister's office, when the pandemic came. And I was on the phone to California and all over the place trying to make sure that our work-from-home system would work, and it worked. It worked so well that the economic curve that we developed in the pandemic is a very, very sharp V-curve, sharply down 10% in 2020. And in a year, 18 months later, it was up by 10.8%. That V-curve is what we call the resilience of the Jamaican people, led by a government who understands and supports business. Give Prime Minister Holness a round of applause. Digital transformation, digital services, upskilling Jamaican with digital skills, financial services, logistics, and ICT will be the driving forces of Jamaica's much richer and better future. Be in that future with us. The combination of constantly upskilling Jamaicans and tying that upskilling with the newest technology, with AI as the new driver, is an economic formula that the Andrew Holness administration intends to employ. Let me tell you this. Economists, famous economists, Mariana Mazzucato makes it clear that the traditional, and I don't agree with a lot of what Mazzucato teaches, but this one works for me. She makes it clear that when you tie technology and upskilling people together, you have a synthesis that changes an economy. Our job is to do exactly that. And you are at the forefront. You're the spearhead of that part of our economy. Jamaica has already begun its ascent with 91 global companies operating in our global digital services sector and operating from 112 strategic sites. We made the law for the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority so that we're not going to say you must operate from here We say, no, 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 come to Jamaica, our wonderful country. You decide where you want to operate from. Show us your business plan, make sure you're properly registered, and we, through the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, will authorize you to operate your business from where you're from. You can't want much better than that. And you know what? We have some good things for you. We want you to come in as a master developer. The government, we have 700 odd acres of land, right by one of the 7 best ports in the world by Kingston, to develop. The government is going to take the first 60 acres, de-risk it. We're going to put in everything that we need there, build the customs house for you, and invite other investors to come in and do the same. If you come in as a master developer, this is what we're going to give you. And it's not, you have to know the Prime Minister or the Finance Minister or me. You don't have to know any of us. It's on the website of the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority. This is what you'll get. A 50-year lease, renewable at the lessee's option. In that, if you're a master developer, any rent you earn from developing that site and renting it to a logistics operator can be tax-free for up to 50 years based on negotiations. Any money that you make other than from the rent, because after the 4th, 5th year, you're going to make money, you're going to reinvest it, that income will be taxed at half the corporate rate in Jamaica. The corporate rate is 25%. You will be taxed at 12.5%, but there's more. Depending on how many Jamaicans you employ and train and so on, that rate could drop from 12.5% to 7.75%. So no taxes on your rent, 7.75% on your other investment. Where else do you want to go but Jamaica? And we have wonderful sunshine most of the year. So, yeah, man, please. So, our SEZ is here for you. We want to make sure you understand that the government of Andrew Holness is one that is inviting to investors. We want to make sure when you come to Jamaica, you have a place you can feel comfortable with your team and your family. We have wonderful hotels you can go and enjoy. We're changing it, and the services part, as I said, we have just, the Jamaica International Financial Services Authority is in my ministry, one of the 20 agencies in my ministry. We are now changing the law to make sure that all those people who do business in Cayman and BVI and Turks and Caicos, many of them Jamaican lawyers and Jamaican accountants, can now come back home. We are fixing the legal ecosystem so segregated accounts can be done from Jamaica. Partnerships account, limited and general partnerships can be done from here. You don't have to go anywhere anymore. And we want those services to come home because you know what? We're going to manufacture some things. But we're a small country. We're going to make sure that we grow and we want to become a rich country. We're never going to compete with China, United States, Mexico, or Colombia as a manufacturing country. But we can do the services well. We have done tourism extremely well. Our GSAJ has shown all the Caribbean what Jamaica can do. We're now going to upskill and upstep those services to high financial services to make this country a rich country, because we realize we cannot become the rich country we want to become, selling to only 3 million Jamaicans with a per capita GDP of 7,000. We're going to raise that, we're going to make it good, and make sure you want to come here and stay in Jamaica. So I invite all of you, entrepreneurs here, business owners, industry leaders, here today to join this noble national effort to cement our political independence with robust and sustained economic independence. Our friends will continue to help us, yes, but the Canadians, British, Americans, Chinese, or friends from Trinidad can't do it for us. It is us Jamaicans who must secure our political independence with that robust economic independence that will come from the business that you are doing here, and as we expand that service business. Ladies and gentlemen, securing that economic independence is my idea of a sustained and strong Jamaica. Welcome to Jamaica. Have a great time.
Thank you very much, Minister Hill. I don't have to adjust the mic, so that means I'm growing. Thank you so much, Minister Hill. So I want to also acknowledge the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, who is also a sponsor, one of our primary sponsors, and Caribbean Producers, who is also one of our sponsors. And just some quick housekeeping. So we have a best booth competition, and we also have several prizes today, several, and I mean several. So collect a booth validation form, pick up your points from going to all the booths, and I mean every single one of them. The form must be signed by an official person at the booth. Drop it in the box, and you will be allowed to win a prize. Also, please sign up for your B2B sessions over at the registration desk right next to Digicel booth. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Our next person to address you, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Prime Minister needs no formal introduction. Everyone knows him. So at this point, I ask you to stand to officially welcome the Prime Minister to the podium. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you to our host, Gloria, Chairman of Outsource2Jamaica 2025. And yes, I did call her late one night, and she was a little bit groggy, probably frustrated. And she was actually very surprised to see that it was me calling her at that late hour. And by the response of the audience, I don't need to reiterate, but you know, Gloria has been a champion for the industry. And she worked tirelessly during the COVID period and lobbied very strongly for the industry, and she continues to do this. And so I recognize. Where did Gloria turn? Please allow me to acknowledge your work. And of course, all the other directors of the Global Services Association of Jamaica. Senator Allen, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Senator the Honorable Orbin Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, and Member of Parliament and Minister of State, Homer Davis, who is a minister in my office representing the Western region. Bishop the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, Custos Rotolorum of St. James, Mr. Wayne Sinclair, President, Global Services Association of Jamaica, Mrs. Shulette Cox, President of JAMPRO, members of the international investor community and delegates, executive representatives of public and private sector organizations in attendance, sponsors and exhibitors, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my honor to join you today at the 2025 Outsource2Jamaica conference. I extend a warm Jamaican welcome to all our local and international delegates, investors, analysts, partners, and innovators, those who continue to believe in Jamaica's potential and who work each day to expand the frontiers of the global services sector. Let me also express my appreciation to the Global Services Association of Jamaica for their tireless work in organizing this flagship event. It is not only the biennial conference that it is, but it is now the preeminent platform in the Caribbean for business and knowledge exchange in outsourcing and global services industry. This year's theme, Driving Excellence, is both timely and visionary. It signals our intention not to merely keep pace with global trends, but to lead, to innovate, and to transform. And as the global economy is reshaped by artificial intelligence, automation, digital transformation, demographic shifts, and tariffs, the question we must ask is not whether Jamaica can compete and survive in this very disruptive atmosphere. But the question is, how can Jamaica lead in this new disruptive environment? Today, over 52,000 Jamaicans are employed in the global services sector, with operations stretching across the island. Our people provide voice and non-voice services across key industries: financial services, healthcare, telecommunications, logistics, retail, and many more. We have grown significantly from our initial BPO foundations, and we are now carving out a space in knowledge process outsourcing, in IT-enabled services, and specialized digital service delivery. Jamaica's position as a nearshore destination is a strategic asset for us and for investors. But proximity alone is not our competitive edge. We have lauded this geographic gift from God for a very long time. But we recognize that it is the people, the other God-given gift, the other natural asset that will give us the competitive edge. Our workforce is English-speaking, tech-savvy, trainable. And that is why the government of Jamaica has made a priority of workforce development and digital skills training to ensure that the future of work is not just something that we adapt to, but more so, the future of work is something that we can have an influence in shaping by ensuring that our human resources are innovative and creative and adding value to the knowledge pool. In this regard, the work of our national training agency, the Heart Trust NSTA, the Global Services Skills Council, and our digital literacy and skills programs have been instrumental in creating a steady pipeline of talent, not only for traditional outsourcing, but for fintech, cybersecurity, software engineering, and data analytics. We are investing heavily in skills development. In 2023, we removed all tuition and administrative fees from our national training agency. So training is now free in Jamaica. And this is up to the associate degree level. In fact, we have gone even further, and we are now literally paying people to learn and get a skill. We now have programs in place where, in addition to receiving training free of cost, participants earn a stipend, which includes a training component. Jamaica is in the best position that we have ever been as a nation as it relates to employment. For all practical purposes, at 3.5% unemployment, Jamaica is technically at full employment. But every business owner, every investor will tell you that the economy is in a good place to generate employment. But for us to grow, and especially in a service-driven environment, we have to upskill. We have to improve the skills of the people currently employed. And then, for those who are still unemployed or outside the labor force or frictionally or seasonally unemployed, we have to bring them into the labor force, but at a higher level of productivity. And so we acknowledge the new dispensation in which the Jamaican economy is operating. You know, we moved from having double-digit unemployment a decade ago to now very low single-digit unemployment. And the strategy of the government is now to pivot into ensuring that labor does not become a constraint for growth. And that takes a different set of policies. So we are very much forward-leaning in providing support to businesses for the upskilling of their existing labor force, in providing really attractive incentives for persons who are not in the labor force to become a part of the labor force by acquiring skills. And there is a great push by some businesses to allow the structured, I hate to use the term importation of labor, but a structured program in which local businesses can have access to a global labor pool. This is something that is obviously very controversial. But as our economy grows, and as it gets stronger, and as the skills required to support the businesses become more complex and high-tech, it may very well have to be a consideration. But as at this point, the strategy and policy of the Jamaican government is to empower our local labor force. At this point, it is to improve the productivity of the local Jamaican worker. At this point, it is to support our businesses to develop higher paying jobs, jobs that are focused on higher level services, and therefore to remove any underemployment that may exist in our economy. Eventually, like all developed countries, when your economy is strong and you require labor and skills that may not be available locally, then you participate in the global labor pool. But as of now, we still have a lot of work to do with our local labor. We have a lot of investments to make in our local people, and that is where the effort and focus of the government is. We have said, however, that as the global arrangements change and we have a significant diaspora overseas, there are as many Jamaicans living overseas as living here, that if they want to come back home, if they choose to make Jamaica the place for their economic pursuits, then we encourage them, we embrace them, and we want them to come back with the skills that they have developed elsewhere. So I want to be clear to the entire Jamaica about our strategy. Jamaica is in a good place as it relates to employment. The economy is doing well. It is creating employment for our people. But the level of employment would not be sufficient to generate the level of growth that we would want. And therefore, in addition to the fiscal support and stability that we give, we must now give even greater support to the development of our human resources to create a steady skill stream to support the development of businesses, particularly global services. And so I want to give the current investors and the investors who are here looking at this jurisdiction the assurance that in the government of Jamaica, you have a strong partner in ensuring that you have the labor force for your business to continue to grow from strength to strength. Friends, we are now squarely in the fourth industrial revolution. This is an era defined by the convergence of physical, digital, and biological systems. It is a world of artificial intelligence, quantum computing, robotics, and the Internet of Things, and a cloud-based ecosystem. It is an era of great threats, but it is also an era of unbounded opportunities. In Jamaica, our choice is clear. We will embrace the opportunities that is presented through digital transformation. Digital transformation is not only central to improving productivity and the ease of doing business, it is in itself the fastest growing industry globally. For Jamaica, it represents more than an economic opportunity. It is the foundation of a modern, inclusive society and a key pillar for our growth agenda. Our vision is to build a digital society, one where individuals and businesses can thrive in a tech-driven economy, where innovation is democratized and where government services are seamless, efficient, and accessible to all. To that end, we are building out the three core enablers of a digital society: institution, infrastructure, and identity. To drive this transition, we have established a new Information and Communications Technology Authority, which will take effect at the start of the new fiscal year. This body will absorb and build on the work of eGov Jamaica Limited and will provide the unified digital backbone required to support the entire public sector. So we will have an ICT authority which will ensure that government agencies are equipped with the modern ICT services, tools, and support systems needed to deliver high-quality digital services to citizens. It represents the institutional modernization we need to support a truly digital economy. We also appointed a national AI task force to advise on the national strategy to enable Jamaica to benefit from the vast opportunities as well as to mitigate the risks presented by artificial intelligence. And no, artificial intelligence did not write my speech. We are here in the process of ensuring that artificial intelligence is integrated and properly used in ethical ways to improve our productivity and efficiency of our labor force and our businesses. Now, just as roads and highways enable movement in the physical economy, digital highways are essential to the flow of information in the digital economy. And that is why we are aggressively expanding our national broadband network and our GovNet infrastructure to ensure high-speed, reliable connectivity across the island. To date, we have connected 702 schools, 145 ministries, departments, and agencies, and 43 other government offices. And in the coming year, we will connect an additional 224 institutions, including more schools, courthouses, and rural service centers. This is not just about access, it is about inclusion. And we are ensuring that every Jamaican, regardless of where they live, can participate in the digital society. Connectivity alone is not enough. We also need secure, reliable systems of identification and authentication. And that is why I'm proud to share that after more than 50 years of debate and delay, Jamaica has its first electronic national identification system, and last year we started issuing our first national electronic identification cards. And this is a landmark achievement. With this new digital ID, citizens will soon be able to verify their identity online, eliminating the need for cumbersome paperwork, long waits, and repetitive in-person visits. This opens the door to a wide range of e-government services, digital payments, secure transactions, and faster access to public support and entities. Jamaica's digital transformation is not happening in abstract. It is unfolding before our eyes, and at its heart is a simple, powerful idea that technology, when used well, can unlock opportunity, create prosperity, and secure the dignity of every citizen. We are building not just a smart economy, but a smart country. One where infrastructure, institutions, and innovation work in harmony. One where the digital economy fuels job creation, supports entrepreneurs, and strengthens our ability to compete globally in sectors like the BPO, KPO, logistics, healthcare, and education. We are not preparing for the future, we are delivering it right now. And within this digital revolution, our global services sector is positioned to become one of Jamaica's most dynamic growth industries. We are no longer asking whether Jamaica can do the job. We are demonstrating how we do it better, faster, and with the quality that the global market demands. We are putting ourselves to be the leader in technology in the Caribbean and the place of choice for our investors to make the decision to choose Jamaica. Now, in our drive to diversify Jamaica's global services industry, one of the most exciting frontiers is logistics outsourcing. For decades, we have spoken about Jamaica's potential to become the logistics hub of the Americas. Today, I can say with confidence, we are no longer imagining the future, we are building it. Jamaica's strategic location at the crossroads of north-south and east-west shipping lanes, paired with world-class port infrastructure, gives us a natural competitive edge. We are leveraging this advantage not only to boost trade, but to create new global services opportunities in supply chain management, logistics BPO, inventory control, and freight forwarding services. And today I want to demonstrate the tangible progress that we have made. At the heart of our logistics vision is the Port of Kingston. The Port of Kingston is now globally ranked among the top 100 ports in the world. Since 2016, under a 30-year concession agreement with the Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited and over $400 million of investment with advanced geopositioning technology, new cranes, and upgraded infrastructure, we have increased cargo volumes in our ports by over 50%. We have increased employment by over 53%. And in 2025, an additional $50 million will be invested to further expand the equipment and capacity of the port. And beyond the port itself, we are laying the foundation for transformational growth through the Caymanas Special Economic Zone, a 700-acre site located near the Port of Kingston and key highways. For those of you who would have attended this event previously, I'm sure you would have heard us talk about the Caymanas Special Economic Zone. In fact, this has been talked about now for 3 past administrations. So many years we have talked about doing it. Well, as the builder, we're going to do it. And I'm pleased to say that we have now completed the engineering designs for the Special Economic Zone. The tender process for the first phase of the land preparation is finalized, and all required approvals are in place. Groundbreaking is scheduled for the first quarter of this fiscal year. So I would say that in another 2 months, we should be able to break ground on the site. The site is being prepared to mitigate against climate change risks such as flooding, and will be equipped with modern infrastructure, utilities, direct, and I want to emphasize this, we're not just going to be building a special economic zone. We're also going to create a direct link from the site to the port itself. So this is going to create within itself a true near port special economic zone. There is, in fact, a pre-existing rail line which we intend to rehabilitate. And so whatever activities, light manufacturing, assembly, whatever is done within this special economic zone will have direct access to the port of Kingston. So it will be probably the most sought after near port service facility in the region when it is complete. Now, this port expansion is a stepping stone towards logistic-led infrastructure and industrial development in the region. It is about positioning Jamaica as a regional hub for warehousing, distribution, e-commerce fulfillment, contract manufacturing, and supply chains analytics. And in this new world of, I want to describe it hopefully as free and fair trade. It is my hope that after the tariff wars have settled down, we can then have a world of both free and fair trade. And in that world of free and fair trade, we would want to position Jamaica as a strategic location to supply the global supply chain. And that's where we are positioning ourselves. That's the human resource we are creating, and that is the development of the natural geographic assets that we have to support this general thrust. Government recognizes its role in creating an economic environment that is conducive and attractive to investment. I can say without fear of contradiction that Jamaica today has the strongest and most resilient economy since our independence, and indeed probably in the region. Unemployment, as I said, is at an historic low of 3.5%. Annual inflation, again, historic low of 4.4%, and that's well within our target range. Our debt is 68.7% of GDP, still high, not exactly where we want it, but in another 2 financial years, or maybe even less, we will attain our target of 60%, and this is by March 2028. And in fact, my own view is that we will probably, our debt to GDP will go below 60% very quickly thereafter. Our sovereign credit rating is BB minus. This is only 3 notches away from being investment grade. You can imagine when we go below 60%, what our investment ratings will look like. Our net international reserves are at a record high of $5.8 billion. And Jamaica is the only country in the Caribbean with no foreign exchange controls. Yes, and our foreign exchange rate is freely floating and fairly stable. Yes. And Minister Hill has pointed out that the hallmark of the fiscal management and stability is that we have managed the affairs of the country. We have managed the tax dollars of the people of Jamaica whilst delivering the services that they need without having to impose new taxes on them. And we have done this now for 10 consecutive budgets. In addition to a favorable macroeconomic environment, the government is taking deliberate steps to ensure that the enabling environment supports growth in the global services sector. And this includes the support for infrastructure development and workplace build-out, strengthening of the education to employment pipeline and ensuring that there is alignment between training and the skills that the industry needs. But we're making further commitments. We're making a commitment to ensuring that you have the technological support, the best internet, the best regulatory environment, and strong cybersecurity, which is a critical issue, particularly in the global services industry, a strong data protection regime, which will support the development of the industry, and indeed the strategic and ethical deployment of artificial intelligence within the industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me close by saying this, Jamaica is ready, and there has never been a better time to invest in Jamaica. We are ready to deliver excellence in global services. We are ready to host your investments. We are ready to provide world-class talent, advanced infrastructure, and you have a government that is responsive to your needs. But even more important, we are ready to lead, not just as a large player, but we want to lead as the most nimble player, the most dynamic, and the most committed to redefining what success looks like in the global services economy. So to our local operators, continue to build capacity, embrace innovation, and gain and aim for global standards. To our investors and partners, Jamaica is open for your business and open for partnership. To our young people, this industry is yours. Seize the moment. Let us move forward together, driving excellence, transforming Jamaica, and leaving no one behind. Thank you, and may this year's conference be the most impactful yet. God bless you, and remember, choose Jamaica.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. So we are set and ready now for the business segment of the conference. But before we do that, I'm going to invite Sophia Clough from National Credit Adjusters to present a token of our appreciation to Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, our Prime Minister and keynote speaker. And whilst that is happening, we're inviting the Heart Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, to officially launch this business segment by landing a drone on stage to present to the Prime Minister. All right, I'm being told that the drone is going to be landing elsewhere.
No, I want the drone.
So I'm not sure what's happening with the drone, Dr. Ingleton. Is it coming? Oh, it's coming, but it's not landing. It's going to arrive differently. It's landing? Okay. All right, because then Hart would have to pay for the rest of the conference, wouldn't you say that? So thank you, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, one of the most dynamic leaders in government. Should I stay out of its way? Yes, please.
So whilst the drone is coming, Honorable Prime Minister, distinguished guests, around the world, companies like Amazon are using drones to transform delivery. Today, Heart and STA Trust shows that Jamaica can do the same. This drone delivery reflects the future, and more importantly, it shows that our trainees are being equipped not just to keep with the global trends, but to lead them. We are preparing a workforce that is ready for AI, ready for logistics and innovation. Jamaica is rising, and HEART is helping to ensure that we continue to rise. And so, Prime Minister, your gift is being delivered by HEART drone, not Amazon drone, which is indicating that we are ready.
Thank you very much.
We want Prime Minister to open it, so I'm just going to help him quickly. Yes, so when we get the technology into this space, we get them in pieces. That drone is assembled end to end by HEART and STA Trust trainees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are now upon a break. I want to thank Manpower Maintenance Services and National Credit Adjusters, HEART and STA Trust for this part of the business. And at this time, there is a break. But before we take the break, remember, best booth competition later on, booth validation to win a total of 30.